台湾读者们好，我是张景惠 or Jenny. I'm the author of Four Treasures of the Sky. It's a novel set in the 1880s about a young Chinese girl named Dai who is kidnapped from her home in China, shipped across the ocean, and ends up in a brothel in San Francisco. And from there, it's about her in the American West trying to make her way back home to China. And as this is all happening, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 looms in the background, which was a law that banned Chinese immigrants from entering the United States. So not only is Dai battling the extreme weather conditions, the harsh realities of the West, and the realities of being a young girl by herself, but she is also trying to survive against the racism and violence of the time. In this novel, Dai takes on several different identities in order to survive her situation. So in the beginning, when we meet her, she is actually disguised as a young boy named Feng, and she's a student at a calligraphy school. Her second identity is when she ends up in a brothel in San Francisco and works as a girl at the brothel named Peony. And this is a name given to her by the madam of the brothel. The girls there are named after these kind of quote-unquote exotic concepts, Western concepts of Chinese symbols. So for example, some of the other girls are named Swan or Swallow or Pearl, and these aren't their real names, these are just their personas. And for Dai, her persona as Peony is a girl who is meant to serve the men who come into the brothel. The next identity that she takes on is Jacob Lee, and she has to act as a young man because she realizes when she gets to Idaho after escaping the brothel that she simply cannot survive in this world as a young Chinese girl. So she becomes Jacob Lee, and Jacob Lee, he doesn't say much, he works diligently, he doesn't ask too many questions. And in becoming this character of Jacob Lee, she also has to give up the things that she loves and the things that make her who she is, such as calligraphy. This is probably one of the most difficult times for her in terms of her identity because she asks herself, who am I really? And when can I be that person again? When can I be me again? And when I am able to be me again, will I even know who that is? You can see one of the main themes of this book is questions around identity and how to step into your identity, how to step into your voice and the stories that you want to tell. All of her four identities, as Dai, as Feng, as Peony, as Jacob Lee, I developed these identities based on what I thought she needed to be given the situations that she was in. So for example, when she's in the brothel, Peony had to be this persona that was docile and attractive to Western men, and who fit kind of the mold, the stereotype of a Chinese brothel girl. And when she's in the West, when she's in Idaho, when she's surrounded by men and surrounded by this very rugged terrain, she has to become someone who is able to withstand that by simply not saying much, by taking what they are given, and by trying quietly to exist. I was thinking a lot about the masks that we wear and that we are forced to wear as we simply go about our days. You know, you become a different person at home when you're by yourself versus when you're walking out on the street versus when you go into work and you have to speak to your boss versus the person you become when you're with your friends. These are all masks and personas that I believe we have to put on in order to make it through the situations that we're in. And it's not always a negative thing. I see it as simply a way for us to adapt to the people around us. The most important identity, of course, is the identity of Dai, who she really is, who she really wants to be. And that's what she's searching for. That's kind of the core question for her in this book. Aside from all of the things that are happening to her, she just truly wants to know, who am I and how can I best be that person? I think it's a question that we all wonder for ourselves. Who am I? Who am I in this world? And if I know who that is, if I have the luck of knowing who that is, how can I best live up to the potential I believe I have? This book means everything to me. It is my first book. It is the book I wrote at 29. It is the first book I wrote out of my MFA program. It is a book I wrote during the uncertainty of the pandemic. And it is the book that gave me everything. The book of my dreams, you could say. So if you are thinking about reading this book or are interested in reading this book, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I am incredibly grateful for your attention. And I hope that you enjoy this